Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And I am the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See that.
And we like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool, because
smart is
the new
gangster baby.
And if you don't know,
now you know.
No. What's good, big bro?
The work is good.
The work is good.
Big shouts out to the workers, and those who have been worked.
The workers, and those who have
been worked.
Been worked. That's the workers, right?
Nah.
The workers haven't been worked. The workers haven't been worked.
It's a different permanent status category.
A permanent status, temporary permanent status, man. You had a weekend. Tell me about it.
Okay, man. Didn't we all have a weekend?
We did.
So we just wrapped up the Tampa Bay Black Art and Film Festival.
Okay.
It was from Thursday until Sunday. It was amazing. I'm still getting over it right now.
Okay. In recovery mode from the film festival.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was, man. And I was actually at the factory for the film festival.
Yes, thank you for coming out.
Yeah. And then Plantopia, I guess that was what it's called. I don't know if it's Plantopia, Plantapalooza. Plant something.
And it was extra black experience for me.
Oh yeah. No, it was amazing, man. Really good weekend. Ribbon cutting for Canopy 18. I was over there.
Big shouts out to Canopy 18, man. Big shouts out to all the businesses popping in and popping out, man.
Yeah, man. And yeah, I mean, and they up and running. You know, the old motorcycle club. That's how I said.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
old van club.
Old van club. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, great spot, great location, and that's actually going to be the host for our 18th Avenue Business District interest meeting next month. And so we're going to start kicking that off and doing some outreach for them. And bringing people in, man, and say, hey, you know, what y'all want to do? You want to do something together?
I definitely want to salute you for the business districts that you have been kicking off and helping kick off, because honestly, brother, man,
yes, sir,
the economics of this community is in a dire straits.
Absolutely.
You know, we got black folks leaving like you can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the realities is a lot of people, you know, leaving for higher ground. They're drowning in debt, they're drowning in whatever,
and rent prices,
and they're leaving for higher ground.
Yeah. True. It's true.
Is that controversial?
That people leaving for higher ground?
People leaving for higher ground.
No, that's just a fact.
And one of the things is
like 4,000 people over.
Yeah, over a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is, it was only 20,000 us to begin with.
No, it was a little more than that. I'm just saying. A little more than that. Yeah. Well, okay. It was like, I think it might have been like 58 or 68,000. Yeah, it was.
South St. Pete.
Yeah, I don't know about South St. Pete, but I know St. Petersburg.
South St. Pete.
No, there you go, Mr. Edmund Facts. There you go with them Mr. Edmund Facts. Like there's census data to show that it was more than 20,000 people.
I said 27,000 in the South.
Okay, so all right. But anyway, Melrose Mercy Neighborhood Association. Their meeting is tonight. I ain't gonna do this morning. Their meeting is tonight as well, at 6 p.m. at the Campbell Park Resource Center, behind behind John Hopkins Middle School, man. So y'all make sure that y'all tap in if you're living in the Melrose Mercy neighborhood. I mean, you know, we live on the air, man. Yeah. So Melrose Mercy.
Back.
Yeah. And the one who worked that board over there ain't here, just so y'all know. Yeah. All right, so Melrose Mercy Neighborhood Association meeting tonight, 6 p.m., Campbell Park Resource Center. That's behind John Hopkins Middle School. They're going to be talking about the neighborhood plan and what they're doing to organize the neighborhood.
And when you say neighborhood plan,
this is exactly what it is. It's self-explanatory, man. If you don't have a plan, somebody else gonna plan it for you.
But people don't know what the neighborhood plan is. It's not self-explanatory.
It's a plan for the neighborhood.
To do what? Like to have a party?
Whatever you want to do.
No, it's not. It's to build up your neighborhood.
Okay.
Come on.
Go ahead. So say it. Say it. Acting like you don't know.
I don't.
You don't have a neighborhood plan, Mr. President?
Yes, we have.
Okay. So what's your neighborhood plan? The purpose of your plan is?
Oh man, it is to work together with our neighborhood.
There you go.
Right.
Come on.
They had some apartments on there I was looking at.
Okay.
How can we build some apartments in our neighborhood?
Okay.
By the neighborhood association.
He said mic 3 is not activated. I guess you push all the buttons.
Okay, that's what the call was.
All the red, all the red buttons. There you go. Just push them and get us going. That one. Yeah. Not those. Not those.
Well, okay.
Yeah, take them off.
Don't do
Turn
that.
them off. Turn them.
Man.
Yeah.
So back to the neighborhood plan.
Yeah.
So if my neighborhood wanted a plan, how do we start off a plan? Like where's step one?
Okay, so step one is reaching out to the neighborhood relations department. Shout out to Susie Ahawk, and asking them if you have a plan already. And if you don't have a plan already, then you can begin that neighborhood planning process. If you do have a plan, then what you would do is review the plan and begin to determine, where you are in the planning process. And if you wanted to update the plan, then you would begin that work of updating the plan. You would have meetings. You would invite your neighbors. You send out, information. You do outreach and let your neighbors know that you're beginning the process of neighborhood planning or updating your neighborhood plan. And then they come together. And you start having, meetings about what the priorities are for the neighborhood. So if you want to, focus on beautification, infrastructure, if you want to focus on, traffic, transportation, housing, just different aspects of the plan, whether it's, green spaces and recreation, whether it's economic development and businesses, whatever, the priorities are for your neighborhood, then you get together with your neighbors and say, these are our priorities. And this is what we would like to see, whether it's building design, if you wanted to have certain types of businesses or a certain look and feel to, the area. If you want to preserve, certain structures or certain styles, then you would put all of that into your neighborhood plan. And then what happens is there's funding that's available and resources available to help you execute and implement the things that are in the plan. And yeah,
that wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. See?
Yeah, I was hoping that you could do that because you boots on the ground, like you in the space.
I have helped with plans.
Okay.
I haven't helped written a plan.
Okay.
But I have helped, dig in and execute the plan.
Right.
And pieces of the plan from, from that level.
And that's one of the most important, if not the most important part of the process is actually implementation. Because after the plan is written, a lot of times these plans can actually sit on shelves and not be implemented.
Okay, so now I can talk about this.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Kenyatta, for the stars. I appreciate that.
That's where I came in at as far as the plan.
Okay.
Is helping implement the plan.
Right.
The plan was already written from, Miss Brenda, Maria Scruggs, and all the other past presidents. And so when I came, the plan was already written and laid out.
Mm-hmm.
And just helping execute the plan, helping execute the vision.
Right.
And I think we still on that mission, honestly. It's still some things in the Child's Park neighborhood plan that we want to, still touch on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was built in '96. If I ain't correct.
So it's a couple plans. I think the first one might have been maybe like 92 or 96. It was in the 90s though. And then there was an update to the plan in like 2007. And we're working right now from that 2007 plan. And I'm thinking that it's about time to get some updates on that plan as well.
I think it do because one of the things was keeping people in their homes and rebuilding and refacading homes and things of that nature. And those aspects of the plan kind of haven't been done.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of neighbors. We lost a lot of homes in Child's Park. Upwards of 600 homes were demolished in Child's Park. So, honestly, we got to rebuild and refortify community for resiliency. And when I say resiliency, I'm not just talking about hurricanes and natural disasters. I'm talking about man-made disasters, economic disasters, whatever comes our way. We want to be resilient enough to make it through.
I love that. And that's exactly right. And so get involved, man. Tap into the planning process that's happening right now in Melrose Mercy. Again, their meeting is tonight at 6:00 at the Campbell Park Resource Center. There's also a planning process in place for Palmetto Park neighborhood. And that's what Fusion 49th is all about. Really, us organizing the business district for us to be able to create a plan for the business corridor and the business district and see what we want to have happen there. And then 18th Avenue, same type deal.
And a lot of your neighborhoods have neighborhood associations and can potentially build a neighborhood plan. You may already have a neighborhood plan. A lot of people don't even know what neighborhood they live in.
Yeah.
Right. Just let's be honest. You know, people don't know where the boundaries of Palmetto Park at. Right. People don't know where the boundaries of Melrose Mercy is at. Where Campbell Park starts and stops at. What 13th Street Heights neighborhood. You know. So I think one day we got to go through and show people.
Okay.
Like maybe have a graphic and say, hey, here's the neighborhood. Is your grandma house in that neighborhood? Do you want to uplift that neighborhood? Do you want to do some work in that neighborhood? Do you want to revitalize the neighborhood association? Because Southside, we have a lot of dormant neighborhoods. And what that means is neighborhood associations that have been put together and built out, I guess, but not being manned. Ain't nobody manning the ship.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word, a woman in the ship.
Yeah. Captain. Yeah, you got to be. Yeah. That's right. But it's true, and it is some neighborhoods that have established boundaries. They have groups that are defunct or no longer active or very little activity, and they need leadership, man. And that's an entry point for community organizing and really getting involved. A lot of people ask me, how do I get involved? What can I do? And all I can really tell you is, take the path that I took. You know what I'm saying? My path was in my neighborhood, like starting with the neighborhood association.
Yes.
You get connected with a lot of what's happening because you have access to your codes compliance department, your sanitation department.
Actually, your city council members.
The city council members are those who actually participate in neighborhood meetings. So it's a great entry point to find out what's going on around you and ways that you can make positive change in the community.
Can I add to that? I want to add to that. The reality is, the neighborhood association president in the chain of command sits right under the city council member.
Yeah.
Right. In the ideal world, a neighborhood association president will work hand in hand with the city council member and the mayors and the administrations or the offices to help the community be a better place.
Right. Yeah, that's the way that it's supposed to work. And
in the ideal sense, because all the time is not ideal. Sometimes you don't have the ideal scenario, but in the ideal scenario, you will be building in your neighborhood with your neighborhood association, taking it to your city council member, who then takes it to the mayor and takes it up the chain of command.
Right. That's absolutely right, man. And Margaret said, get out of your house and go to the meetings. That's right.
I mean, it's a low barrier of resistance. It's just showing up to public meetings.
Yeah.
These are public meetings. You don't have to be invited. A lot of times it feels good when you are invited. It feels good when you are welcomed. But these are public meetings. Whether you're invited or welcomed, you have the right to be there. You have the right to be involved, because sometimes it's not an easy transition. Sometimes it's not a charismatic leader. It's not a loving board. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's some rough scenarios. They want you to be ready for it.
That's true. And in each neighborhood is different. There's similar fundamentals, fundamental practices.
Yeah.
But each neighborhood has its own character and it has its own leadership.
Yes.
And so being able to tap in and walk in that room and like Margaret says, walk in the room and just look, really observe and pay attention and then see, what's going on is a great start. And like I said, a lot of these associations are really in need of help. They need new blood. They need new ideas. And so if you haven't been to a neighborhood association meeting, please find out where your association meets.
Yes.
And you can do that by going to D7 Speaks. Go to d7speaks.com. And we have a list of those neighborhoods that are active and meeting in District 7. And we also are going to put up a map, because I like what you said, Mr. Edmond. You're right. A lot of people don't know where their neighborhoods are. And there's a map that it's kind of hard to find sometimes. So I'll put it on D7 Speaks. And so you can go in and actually find out what neighborhood you're in and how you can begin to get involved. So
that's real. Thank you.
That's what's up, man. And one of the questions that came up. So Miss Teresa, I want to give a shout out to Miss Teresa. I'm a little early on this one, but I wanted to make sure that I covered this. I posted maybe about 5 years ago, right? A question on social media. And the question was something like, what can a private citizen do? What can an elected official do that a private citizen can't do? Right. Okay. That was 5 years ago. What can a private citizen or an elected official do that, one can do and the other can't do? And she said she wanted to know, 5 years later, what are my thoughts on that? How would I answer that question? Because I had an answer 5 years ago, and what's my answer 5 years later? being as well where life has taken us and how it's pushed us on this journey, and not a lot has changed.
So first your answer.
Yeah. So things that a private citizen can do that an elected official can't do, and it's not that they can't. It's just not something that's common. I won't say. I'll say it that way because, in essence, both of them can pretty much do the same things.
No, don't just say it.
No. That's the framework. That's the framework generally, because when I start reading it, people are gonna say, "Oh, well, the elected official can do that too." So private citizens have the freedom to advocate for any cause or express their opinions without being bound by the official government positions. They can openly criticize and support policies, politicians, and issues without the constraints that elected officials may face. And so that's one of the things that you can do.
They ain't gonna have to worry.
They ain't got to worry about trying to get elected. I can say what I need to say, right? No, I'm not going to lose constituencies and all of those types of things. Go ahead. This is a conversation, man.
I don't want to think that I want to be that type of politician or that type of elected official.
Yeah.
That I'm handcuffed to the public opinion, or I'm handcuffed to what they made, the mysterious they. Yeah. I kind of like to confront that mysterious they. Right. In air quotes. I put they in air quotes.
Yeah.
So when they say they ain't gonna let you do it, or they want you to do this, and I kind of like to confront those narratives. And right. I think that they will have to follow along with the community's mission and the community's plan.
Yeah, that's why I
go along for the ride.
Now you see why I framed it the way I did.
Okay.
When I was framing it, because I knew somebody would say otherwise. Private citizens engage in grassroots activism and direct community involvement without the responsibilities or constraints of official political duties. They can participate.
Okay, go. I'm just laughing. I can laugh. Don't laugh. Okay, don't laugh. I gotta stand up. I'm falling into a chair because they can go through that. I challenge the norm on that one.
Okay.
Because the problem is a lot of the needs and issues of the community comes from out the grassroots.
Yep.
And because there isn't a bunch of grassroots, elected officials or elected people, a lot of times those grassroots groups and, people don't feel heard.
Yeah.
They feel like
I think you missed the first part of it.
Okay, go.
The citizens have the flexibility to initiate and lead grassroots movements.
Or elected official can't initiate and lead nothing?
Private citizens have the flexibility. Flexibility is a key word, because I'm currently in an elected official, in an elected role. And it's not that you can't do it.
Okay.
But there are some constraints that limit your ability to effectively do it. And so having the flexibility to initiate and lead it and address those issues is something that without having to deal with the bureaucratic processes that elected officials encounter when you're working towards solutions. That this is why it's important for both to work together, because there are things that a private citizen can initiate and lead and then be supported by an elected official in that effort. Then there's also things that an elected official can initiate and take a leadership role, but also realizing that there are other duties and responsibilities that may limit their ability to effectively lead. And so they need the support of private citizens. That's what I would say in that regard. Private citizens can align themselves with any organization or cause without concern for political implications. They have the freedom to support various groups and movements based upon their personal beliefs, whereas elected officials must consider the potential impact on their political careers, because there are some affiliations that you may have that may not be in line with the popular opinion. And as an elected official, popular opinion, particularly among those who actually go out and vote, matters, because you will not be able to keep your job in some regards if people don't align with what you align with and your affiliations. Things that elected officials can do that private citizens cannot do. Elected officials can legislate and enact laws. And this is all debatable, because as private citizens, we didn't enact laws, but we made proposals and suggestions to our elected officials that have become laws. But elected officials have the power to propose, debate, and vote on legislation that can have a direct impact on the community. They can introduce bills, advocate for policy changes, and contribute to the creation of laws that address the needs and concerns of their constituents. Elected officials can allocate government resources, so they play a crucial role in the budgetary decisions and resource allocation. They can direct funding towards specific projects, programs, or services that they believe will benefit the community. This includes investments in education, infrastructure, healthcare, and more. They can also represent their constituents officially. Elected officials are official representatives of their constituents. They have the authority to engage with other government entities, negotiate on behalf of their community, and participate in decision-making processes at the various government levels. And then lastly, formally advocate for change. Elected officials can use their positions to formally advocate for change within the government system, keyword within the government system. They can bring issues to the attention of legislative bodies, propose policy reforms, and work within the established political framework to address community concerns. Let's talk about it.
So my first thought is, and I always say this, the most powerful position of an elected official is often off the diocese, and as a regular citizen. Because I think a lot of times when folk get elected, they wear their elected official hat all the time. When the reality is, you can have an interchangeable hat. Right. You can be a citizen, which you are. And actually, that is, if you look at the most, how can I say, successful, not successful, because that's the wrong word.
Yeah.
But some of the most best ways of elected offices are used are often outside of the diocese.
Right.
Not on the bench, not writing the law or penning the law, but actually using the power of the elected seat as an organizing vehicle, as a vehicle to raise money, as a vehicle to raise support for stuff. So it's like and all, not either or.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I hear that, and that's true. And Margaret put it in here, and it's spot on. She said it's a balancing act, and it is, and that's again what I'm seeing. It's a delicate balance because of the demands and the responsibilities of the job, because knowing that a lot of the work is done outside of the diocese is true, but then the demands of the job is on the diocese, and in that legislative space where you're writing laws and you're reviewing proposals for written laws, you're looking at property variances, you're looking at codes, you know what I mean, you're looking at stormwater, and utility rates. You're looking at, balancing the budget. So it's a lot that there's a part of that legislative focus where it requires just as much, and if not more, attention to this community organizing piece of the work. And that's the stuff that you don't see. Like, you don't see them, 400, 500 pages of budget that you're reading and that you're reviewing and looking at these line items. There's management studies where you're looking at the different departments in the city, where you're saying, okay, how effective is this department running? And, are there rooms for improvement? Because as an elected official, people will come up to you and say, hey, man, this department, man, they tripping over here. And so how do you address that? How do you respond to that? You know what I mean? As a legislator and as an elected official and as a member of a council or a board that has the responsibility to address these things, like that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And so when you see your elected officials, they're not out in the community. There's some that are not out in the community because they at home studying these volumes and volumes of processes and procedures and this administrative role, which is one of the primary roles of being an elected official. And I can't say for all. I can't speak for, why people ain't out and where they need to be, but I can tell you that it's a lot of responsibility that comes with, looking at your committee work, because each one of us are assigned to at least 3 or 4 committees. So I'm on like the Forward Pinellas, which is a transportation committee. We on housing, land use, and transportation. We on, budget, finance, and taxation. We on youth and family services. And so there's a lot of committee and administrative work that, again, if you want to do it right and you want to do your due diligence, it takes a lot of time to research and study and to do those types of things. And so you might not see, the field work of your elected official, because it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that, again, those responsibilities are for. But definitely, private citizens can engage in the community just as elected officials can. These educational initiatives, private citizens, individuals and elected officials can collaborate on educational initiatives. Private citizens can organize workshops, seminars, tutoring sessions, while elected officials can allocate resources for those programs and advocate for policies to enhance the opportunities. And so the way that I see it, the ideal scene that you mentioned and we talked about before is having private citizens work with your elected officials so that we can, as private citizens, cover some of that engagement work, some of that initiative work, some of that educational piece, while they focus on the legislative part, using the platform that they have to be able to bring people and invite people, talking to other governments. Like it's definitely a balancing act. And it works best when I think we work together and we not see it like as a us versus them, but as a us with them and us working with our elected officials to get things done in our community. So that's how I would answer that, Mr. Teresa. But thank you for bringing that back to my timeline. Let me see here. I saw Carla B had something in the comments. You see it in the comments? Where is that? It was a good one here I saw, but I can't find now. I have power as a citizen. I value those who serve as elected officials. I know it's not easy. Thank you for that, because it really is not. And when I got this position, one of the things that I said, I was looking forward to was like, I'm gonna just continue doing what I've been doing as a private citizen. Like that was my mindset. And then may God be pleased with her, Sherry Howard. She saw me at a city council meeting. And at that city council meeting, Sherry was saying, don't change, Brother John, don't change. Don't get in that position and change. And after she said it about 4 times, because she was so emphatic, with it, I said, Sherry, I got to change, because the job has changed. The role has changed. The position that I'm playing on the team has changed. So if I'm a wide receiver and now I'm a quarterback and you telling me don't change, we're not going to win this game, because my position on the team has changed. And so the way that I show up and the way that I operate has to change, because like who I am fundamentally and my drive and my passion and my tenacity and where my heart is not going to change. But the way I work and the way I operate has to change, because the job description that I'm operating under has changed. And I think that's one of the things that we as a community don't always have an appreciation for. You want them to, okay, you was a strong community advocate and community champion. And now when you get in there, I want you to be that same strong champion. You can. However, the scope of your work has changed. You have additional duties and responsibilities, and there's only so much time in a day. So we're going to need other people to step up and fill those gaps and close some of those gaps and help with that organizing and advocacy and community engagement and promotions of different aspects of the work, that the elected official can really focus on the things that I mentioned earlier, like the highlights of just the administrative piece of doing the job. And it really takes us working together hand in hand in order to be effective. And after 15 months on the job, I realized where my passion is. My passion is in that part of the work that's not the administrative piece and the, checking the boxes and making sure that this is consistent with that and that is consistent with this. And, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not where the passion is, but that's a very large part of the commitment, of that role. And I appreciate my colleagues who are into that part of it, and those who are residents who are, giving a lot of detailed and attention to that. but I just want to be out here in the field helping the people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And being able to work with community to develop the agenda, to develop the platform that we can present to our elected officials, and then have someone on council who will be responsive to our needs and the things that we create as community, and then be able to legislate and operate in that space. So that's where it's at, y'all. Sharonda said, anything that you want to see change, it takes time, dedication, and hard work. Behind the scene people, on sea for work, not the countless hours of hard work put in.
Yep,
I think right. I kind of messed that up just trying to read it. And then some people become politicians in bold letters and forget that they turn their backs completely. And that's the problem we have sometimes. And I see that as well. And it's not hard to do. And I see it. It's just so much that I see, right? Like I see how, they can get you, man. Like if you are not rooted and grounded in your principles and in your values, remembering the assignment and who you're there for, because a lot of that stuff can feed your ego. You getting, they want to send you to different conferences and give you tickets, and and people want to flew you out, and you know what I mean, and like, that title of council member and like all of that stuff. If that stuff really, if you let it get to you, man, I see how it can change people.
If it matters to you,
then, and if you're afraid of losing it, right? Like, because there's a certain prestige that comes with being the council member. When you walk in the room, people acknowledge you and they look at you and they, shout you out, and we're so happy to have, and you get these invitations, and all of that stuff is meaningful and impactful. But if you're afraid of losing that, then you'll start doing things to make sure that you stay there that may not always be in the best interest of your constituents and the people that you're trying to represent. So, yeah, I've seen that, man. So yeah, it's definitely been an eye opener. A very, I'm grateful for the experience. I'm really excited about life after council, which is again next year around this time. And also really looking forward to working with whoever our council members will be, because that's the other part of this thing. Like there's 4 different people, 4 different seats on our council that's up for election this year.
Yes.
And so we need to be paying attention. Good morning, Ms. Teresa. I started a little early, so if you missed it, you're going to have to go back and get that answer.
And I want to say, not only is there seats up, but this election year, man, this is a very important election year, locally, state, and nationally.
And I hate to say how people said, so I won't. Since I hate to say it, I won't say it. But you often hear people say, this is the most important election of our lifetime. Like they say that for every election, and every election does matter. And they have severe and serious consequences.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this being a presidential election, with a lot of the congressional seats that are up, like it is, going to be more impactful than some of our other elections, but definitely.
But no, I want to stay local because we got 1 minute. But I really want to say, like, this next council is going to help this next 30 years in its development.
Yeah,
like there's going to be some decisions made by this council,
right?
But the next council. Hey, we're finna go and take a break. Y'all on Facebook, y'all stick and stay.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk some more about the talk that need to be talked. And
we got Tamika Hubbard's gonna call in too. She's gonna talk about Black history, shout outs that she's been doing, and how you can tap into that, really some of her inspiration behind it. And so y'all stick around, tag a friend, tell a friend that the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is on. If you're listening on the radio, thank you for that. Drive safely on your way to work. Stick and stay, but we'll be right back with more of the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club about 6 minutes after the hour. Y'all stay tuned.
Oh, you got that, huh?
Yeah, I did, but to returning citizens. We were able to negotiate a deal where we got like 30 minutes on the radio, got 99 jams to talk about, Amendment 4 and other local, policies and politics. Enjoyed it, so we started doing it on Sundays as like a podcast with, at the time, Janet Michelle. She was our co-host, and she, filled that role until she moved. And then we had Carla Bristol, Carla B. She came in for a season. And then Reno was behind the scenes. He was always present because we did organizing together, so he'd come and hang out. And then the things that he was saying off camera was like, man, we might as well just have you on the show.
The negative thoughts that you is thinking about right now, or any particular subject, y'all, just flip it.
Turn problems into opportunities.
Problems are opportunities, man. Big shout out to Charles Soprano, man.
Real deal, man.
We on the jump board together right now.
Just being around people and clearly always talking, I just felt like at least learn something. So as you see that you're not going to shut up, you can have substance to your conversation and not just be labeled somebody who just love to talk.
Really being informative, looking to give the information that isn't readily available in our community.
Multiple meteorologists can look at the same data and come up with a different forecast.
And so now you take those models, take that data and say, okay, based upon all of that,
Absolutely.
you might be in between here and there, and that's my know what I'm saying speech. Most recently, after Carla B, transitioned out and went to do other things as well, Kiana, we invited Kiana.
I've been working with the guys for a while outside of this, and they called me to interview. And when I came in to interview that Sunday, after the show, they was like, hey, you need to be a part of the show. And I was like, okay.
I look at it almost like a band and the instruments, but it's just the instrument that we're using is our voices.
My voice is already kind of squeaky. I know my voice can get squeakier.
You have to have your radio voice on and have that vocal control.
I talk lower when I need to calm it down. And when I'm very passionate about it, I slow it down. And because I want you to understand what I'm saying.
What's good for the geese is good for the gander. So if you keep it secrets, just know that she can too.
Okay, and see that's why Kiana, that's why you need it on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. You feel? Because you gonna even things out. You know what I'm saying? I was just joking. You know what I'm saying? It was joking.
We just understand power, and in terms of people's attention, because it costs. People's attention costs. That's why it's called pay attention.
We want to present local information right up there with, the trending topics.
One thing that's a common denominator with all of us is that we're all passionate about our people.
For me, what you take from me is that I'm real and I'm passionate about the growth of our people.
The overall goal, I would say, is to have a more informed community. Around electoral politics, around health, around equity.
It's about the mission of connecting the dots and closing the gaps, inspiring people to see what's possible, and trying to be an example. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing sometime, but you do the best that you can with what you have, and you pray that others will be inspired to join in.
For more info, visit cdatcenter.org/Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am the one and only Mr. Edmond, and
I'm your brother John. This program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See That.
And we like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool, because smart is
the new gangster,
baby. And if you don't know, now you know. Now you know. Now you know.
I know you know.
I know you know. I know you know. And so, yeah, before the break, we was talking about the difference between being a private citizen and an elected official, and some of the things that one can do and the other can't. But it really worked out to be where a lot of these things overlap. Some don't, but a lot do. And so, yeah, pick your part in the struggle, man. On the line, we go ahead.
Make sure the line up. Okay, line up.
Yeah. Turn the red light on.
Red light
on the blue. There you go. Boom. All right. And on the line, we got special guests with us, y'all. Tamika Hubbard is in the building. You there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Thank you for hopping on and calling in this morning. We really just wanted to let you know how much we appreciate you and the work that you've been doing to compile the Black History. I've been calling them Black History shout outs. I don't know if that's the official name. But if you could introduce yourself to the people and tell us a little bit about, what inspired that.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Tamika. I'm born and raised in St. Pete. And what inspired me is that when it comes to Black History Month, we always dwell on our ancestors, which is great, but it kind of brings us down because it's such a sad memory. So I just wanted to remember us and how we have overcome and how we are doing it. We're doing great.
That's right.
And so that was my inspiration to just, make people happy and uplift them and show them that we don't have to always stay down. We doing great things.
That's right. And I appreciate that, because you're right. Like, a lot of the history is like that Debbie Downer, the we've come a long way, but we still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
12 years a slave and all of that kind of stuff. And so being able to see, the positive acknowledgments. And then you're doing like people who we know.
Yes.
How did you decide on who, who you would shout out?
So I wanted to just put a positive light on Pinellas County in a whole, because we mostly get put in the paper when it's something bad.
Right.
It's always, they did this and this is how many felonies they have. And I just didn't want to do that, because even if you have a felony, you still can do great things.
Right.
So I just wanted to just show that we don't always have to stay in the past, and show people that, this is a great thing that we're doing. That was it. I didn't want no recognition.
Right.
I just wanted to quietly step in and step out.
But you stepped in so heavy, though. Because, I mean, like I said, it's one of those things that when I saw it and I started just seeing people who I know and it's right. Bro's really doing some good stuff, and or the sister who you highlight is really doing amazing things. And then also it was people who I didn't know. I shared the story on last week about how you tag somebody who's providing a service in our community that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to make that type of connection and being able to see, that there are people in the community who are in real time creating like real history and real Black history. So I definitely appreciate that. And then if there was if you had a message for the people, something that you wanted to leave them with, like as a final thought, to say, hey, let's
I just say
let's
all just support each other, and if you see somebody in need, help them and don't talk about it. Just help them and keep it moving.
Yeah. Say that again. I think that got a reaction from Mr. Edmond.
Yeah.
Did you say help them
and I honestly
don't talk about it?
I was gonna highlight Brother John a couple of days ago, and I was just compiling, going through his history and stuff like that, and I noticed that he was gonna be leaving the council seat. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out because a lot of people don't know I'm going to post them.
That's right.
I just post them because I feel like it's better to feel the love than, I'm just one of those people that I just always want to acknowledge people and the good in them. I just see the good in everybody, That's it.
Man, that's so refreshing.
Thank you so much for that.
That is so refreshing.
You're welcome.
That's how the weekly challenges started. Right,
Yeah.
it was a lot of bad news about the black people, and what they did was started a newspaper. That's the legacy of our community right now.
Right.
So thank you for walking down that same street.
Yes, absolutely.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time to call out. And again, I know it's not easy doing them compilations and really putting that together. So thank you and that's why I had to acknowledge it because if I know like when you try to do that and then the consistency because you're doing it every day, you're doing a couple people a day, man. I have an appreciation for the work that goes into it. That's not something you just copy and paste and all of that. Like you really have to be intentional about it. And again, I wanted to just shout you out and let the world know that we appreciate you for doing that. So thank you again, Tamika, and I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you very much.
All right, you have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. So you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, the new 99 Jams morning show right here on WUJM, man. And we giving people their flowers, and we giving people who giving people their flowers. How about that?
We giving people who giving the people their flowers, man, and
really recognizing that it's a lot of positive going on, and that's really the spirit and the intent of the New Image Project.
Okay, talk about it.
You know what I mean? The whole idea with the New Image Project is, new information, media, arts, graphics, and entertainment, and really having those positive images. You hear us talk about it all the time. We here to redefine what's cool.
That's right.
And Tamika is really the epitome of that with the work that she's doing.
Yes, totally redefining what's cool. And big shouts out to all the people that she recognized. Like you say, they the homies, those people we know, people that we deal with, people that we got love for. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And I think that's a part of the allure of it. Because we know it ain't easy, but it's what needs to be done. So thank you, Tamika. Thank you, everybody who been liking her page, because she been getting hundreds and hundreds of likes per post.
Yeah,
and I can just imagine the businesses that these posts are helping.
That's right,
right? Because
that's the other part of it.
Oftentimes we see posts about businesses in a negative light, right? So to have this is it a segment? Because that's what it is. She got like a community segment going on right now.
Yeah.
And in that community segment, she's highlighting the community.
Real deal, man.
That's real.
So I put out a post, I want to say last week, asking a question. And the question that I asked, I asked for the community. I said, what can we come together and do? That was pretty much it, right? So like, what can we come together as a group and do? And got several responses. And so what we were able to do is we took those responses and we put them into themes, right? And this is not just an exercise for social media, but I'm actually going to be looking at these themes and looking at these ideas, and then we're going to start reaching out to people, man, like some real St. Pete change makers, man, to see like, okay, you really want to do it? Or is that something that you were just throwing up in the air and seeing if somebody else would pick it?
Because, do you want to lead it?
Do you want to lead it?
Do you want to lead it? Not if you want to do it. Do you want to lead it?
Yeah.
Do you want to step up?
Because we need leadership.
Do you want to step up, right? Ooh. In the paint, right? Mm-hmm. Do you want to go down into the hole? These sports references, y'all.
Yeah, that's right.
but for real, do you want to, really do your idea?
Yeah.
Do you want the support to make your dream come true? Big shout out to dream makers.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? Because honestly, Brother John, I did read the post.
Okay.
And I thought it was a great question at a great time.
Right.
What can we do together? Because some people like, we can go to the beach and have a picnic. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We can go to the park and turn the music up. Okay, cool. And some other people said we can invest.
Yeah. So that's the theme. So we have them broken out into themes when we asked, because it was so wide ranging, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't limit it and say, okay, what is it? I just said, what can we come together as a group and do? And then see where people's imaginations, where their minds are. And so creational activities was like one of them. It's like the themes kind of shake out to be about 10 different areas, right? When we look at themes, because, I've been learning some stuff working with these town halls and how you compile this data and all of that. So it's 10 different areas that came out as functional areas. These areas were recreational activities that included like zip lining, top golf, kickball, a citywide scavenger hunt. There was also suggestions for community building events, like bringing people together for fun and relaxation. That was one of the areas. Community investment was another one of the spaces. There were proposals to pool our tax money for community projects and buy commercial and multifamily properties. Yeah. look, I see a hand in the air for that one. Cultural and educational initiatives. Emphasis was put on like the African American Heritage Trail tours, ciphers, educational events, promoting awareness of local history through the walking tours and other cultural activities was one that came up. Health and fitness was one of the themes. Advocacy for a citywide mobile health and fitness event, promoting physical fitness and well-being. Community members actually proposed something that we did this Saturday. One of the proposals came up was a Saturday morning walk.
But listen, that whole line, because it's something that city can do health wise. You know, we're doing walks, we're doing yoga. We already got a pilot project going on in Childs Park. You know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to the whole Childs Park Neighborhood Association, Trestlin and the whole team. Christy Faust, Dr. Faust, and
Living Daringly, yoga.
Yes. And thank y'all so much, because it's really helping our community, not only get healthier, but also come together. Seeing just a nice group of people on that basketball court, stretching and flexing, and you know what I mean. And some of the kids still came and shot some hoop. Right. So we sharing spaces.
That's right.
Right. And I think
and it was respectful. Here's the thing
it was a beautiful thing.
It was the consideration. So it was a young man came out there with his basketball and he saw us doing yoga and he wouldn't bounce the basketball. Like he was holding on to the ball, and he saw that we was kind of in that space, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? He didn't come out there and just start doing his thing. Like he gradually kind of got into it, but for the first few moments, he just waited and was like, okay, let me see what's happening here, and then really got engaged, and I thought that was
so. I want to ask the audience, if you out there on Facebook, if you're listening on the radio. You can go ahead and call in 727-637-2416. That's 727-637-2416. And the question is, what can we do together?
As a group. Like
what can we do together?
That's right. Give us a call. Let us know what your thoughts are and join the conversation.
No idea too small, no idea too big. Right. Because you got people on here talking about just doing a Saturday walk like we did this Saturday. And people are already talking about doing even bigger things like purchasing commercial real estate.
So you had social justice advocacy was another one that came up. There was a conversation about suggestions to address issues at the school board, stop the violence, also support for mental health for teens, advocacy for preventable causes of death.
And that's like diabetes. It's not in the blood, it's in the food, it's in the recipes. And I want to say this doesn't matter if you're in Hillsborough County, if you're in Zephyr Hills, if you're on the corner of 34th Street,
Manatee, Palmetto,
wherever you may be, if you're in Clearwater, if you're off Greenwood, wherever you may be, if you can hear this broadcast, what can we do together? What's an idea? You can call in. I'm gonna tell you the number one more time: 727-637-2416. Or if you're watching on Facebook, you can put it in the comments.
That's right.
I think we can do a little bit of everything. We can do anything. How about that? I think that we can do anything if we come together.
Real talk. And just in conclusion on that, the community responses that we received, they do reflect a diverse range of ideas. There was a common thread of building stronger connections and addressing various issues within the community, whether it was recreational or social justice initiatives. There was a collective desire to enhance the well-being and the unity of our community, and the responses that we receive highlight the importance of communication, advocacy, and community engagement as we move forward to implement these ideas. And so again, when we put these things out on social media, y'all, it's not just us trying to, be provocative, but we really want to know what you're thinking and then start to begin to see how we can organize around these ideas, because it's 10 different categories and a couple of them we already working in and doing things in. And then other parts of it is like outside of the box thinking, man. And we just need to link up and make it happen.
So I want to dovetail off that
come on.
to a brief. yes, we are wanting to be provocative in a sense, right? Because what we're doing, cause yeah.
No, I just saw Kiss comment. She said, I totally misunderstood the question when asked on the post. Sorry about that. But the way that it was framed, it's just like however you whatever. So it ain't, there are no right or wrong answers, Kiss.
And it can be provocative, right?
Yeah.
Having the community, voice their opinion, having people say some stuff, because sometimes people don't want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
And honestly, I applaud you, brother, for always opening up the lines of communication to the community. Always,
that, man.
Looking for engagement, even if it ain't gonna be the way you want it, right?
Yeah.
And you know it. You don't know how it's gonna come.
You never know how it's gonna come.
And you know it.
Yeah.
And so I definitely respect that, man, and appreciate you for that. And just keep up the good work, my brother.
No doubt. So today is also when we talk about, this day in history and things that happen. So one of the days today is recognized as Black Lives Matter Day.
Ooh.
And
why today though?
Because it's the anniversary of the murder of Trayvon Martin. And that was like, one of the jump off points for the movement. And so it's not recognized specifically as a specific day, but it's likely it refers to the events and organizing things that's been going on with the movement because of Trayvon Martin. The ways that it's celebrated include like peaceful protests, educational programs, community discussions, and different initiatives aimed at raising awareness about racial injustice and inequality. And also today, people often wear Black clothing or display symbols associated with the movement. So you got the Black Lives Day.
Got my whole black on. If it wasn't so cold, hold on, let me.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And it's Florida, so it won't be cold in 20 minutes from now. But also on this day, February 26, 2012, Trayvon Martin was fatally shot by George Zimmerman, a neighborhood watch volunteer in Sanford, Florida. Zimmerman claimed self-defense, leading to protests and debates on racial profiling and self-defense laws. Zimmerman initially was not arrested, but eventually was charged with second-degree murder after public outcry. He was acquitted in a high-profile sparked the birth of the Black Lives Matter movement. I know Dream Defenders was created after that moment, and the incident raised concerns about racial profiling, stand your ground laws, and also led to changes in some of the neighborhood watch rules. And so just as a part of this discussion, man, how did Trayvon Martin case contribute to, these conversations, and, what are some of the highlights that you can see that have come out of, what's happened since then?
Heavy. I want to say one of the first marches I took place or part in was a Trayvon Martin march that took place on Central and like right there on the one way. They laid down in front of the MSC building.
Okay.
I probably even got it on film. But
I think so. I remember seeing the pictures that came out of that. Yeah.
And so I really, at that time, I really wasn't into marching, protesting. I always felt that it was kind of out of date or it wasn't the thing to do.
Okay.
Right. And I really don't even know how I ended up on that corner. I don't know what was the circumstances or how I got there, but I was there. A couple other community members, people representing the South Side.
Right.
In particular.
Right.
And one of the things that really touched me was, the creation of the Dream Defenders.
Yeah.
I was an early Dream Defenders member, probably 2017, 2018, something like that.
Yep.
When they first was popping off here in the Bay Area. So, and that made a difference in my life, my organizing life, and how I look at things. So rest in peace to young Trayvon Martin. Rest in power.
That's right.
Yes, rest in power, young Prince.
For real, man. And his mom and his parents.
They
picked
that torch up.
They
did.
The torch.
Did she run for office? Did she become?
I'm not sure.
It was a wave though.
It was a wave though. But yeah, no, it definitely was a lot that came out of that, and it's one of those moments where you can mark time based on like, okay, this is
where were you?
Where were you?
So that was like 2016, 2015?
2012, actually. 2012. Yeah, it was February 26, 2012.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that was like one of the first. And that was like one of the first in that series of things, because it had been quiet and not a lot of, attention was being put on it. And then when that happened, it was like, wait a minute. And then after that, that's when like Mike Brown and, like the stuff in Ferguson and like we started just seeing more and more incidents. But like Trayvon Martin was one of them catalyst moments where it was like, okay, wait a minute. It's something going on and it needs to be addressed. And people started like being, waking up to this new wave of activism in the 21st century.
And sad to say, Trayvon Martin wasn't the only brother to lose his life like this. He was just happened to be a brother who they shined the light on situation.
Right.
But there's been, murders like this all over the United States, all the way since the lynchings. Right. And you take the lynchings and follow a trail where it was organized and then it's not so organized. You have these what they call lone gunmen.
Yeah.
Right. They call it the lone gunmen when they working by themselves, but they don't talk about the planning and plotting that the program has done for them.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not just so alone. Right. They're kind of working in synchrony.
It's a collective mindset.
Yeah, they're working in synchrony.
And then that collective mindset, they end up stepping out and acting on it, to really show how committed they are to it. Kid said, I still can't believe he's still out here with the BS. This is why I think gangs are flawed. She also said, I think this was the first time I marched with my kids. Seeing so many of us together for the same cause moved me to tears. It was really a new feeling. Seeing that unity wasn't something I was used to. Yeah, absolutely.
That's big though, because I unite with that, because that was like, I swear, probably one of the first times I participated in the march.
Right.
I wasn't with that. I still kind of
you
reluctant.
You ended up doing 100 days.
Yeah,
March.
I was reluctant. I was like you.
Yeah,
I was being pushed into this.
Okay,
I was reluctant, man, because I felt that we have done all the marching and protesting.
Right.
You get what I mean?
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah, that used to be my thing. That's why I was here to go into City Hall.
Right.
I wasn't here to stand on the steps.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
You ready to go inside?
I'm here to go in. We're here to go in the doors.
That's right.
That was the mindset I came into community work with and organizing with.
Yep.
So I wasn't really for all the marching. I used to help plan them and be in the rooms, but I wouldn't never, let's do this march on Saturday. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I probably still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll march in the City Hall. We'll march in there to sign the yellow
but you
slips.
going in like, you understand the power of the pen.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to minimize the importance of taking it to the streets.
Yeah.
Like you read earlier, this was the only reason the guy was even charged.
Yeah, because of the public outcry.
And the public outcry also set the stage up for the George Floyd, right? The organizations and the entities were in place when the George Floyd incident happened. Because what we got to realize, man is going to be man. They're going to be killing until ain't nobody else to kill. But what we got to have in place is the organizations and the organizing to combat when somebody is unjustly killed or when something happens that as a community we ain't for.
That's right. And so this day in history is being brought to you by the Barbershop Book Club. And again, y'all can tap in and find out more about that by going to our Central Station Shop on Facebook.
Can I take a second and say big shots out to Antonio Brown? He's being recognized tomorrow at Lakewood High School. So him along with other leaders in the community, I want to say big shots out to Antonio Brown, man. I salute you, King. Keep doing your job. Keep doing what you do. And we'll be there. We're going to bring some people with us too. Lakewood High School. I'll put the flyer in the comments shortly.
Right on. You familiar with Eric Mays?
Don't make me lie.
Okay, so Eric Mays is a city council member in Flint, Michigan. He was known for his activism during
I know Mr. Mays, tall man.
Yep.
OG.
Mr. Mays passed away, man.
What?
Yep. Mr. Mays passed away at age 65.
He was giving them high heels in the holy place.
Yeah, he was.
made the spirits look down upon you and be glad because Mr. Mays was taking off.
Yeah, Mr. Mays, taking off. He took off. So definitely want to shout out Mr. Mays. Again, Mays, he was elected in 2013, and he was among the first officials to raise concerns about Flint water quality. as the city faced lead contamination due to improper treatment of water from the Flint River. And despite his contributions to addressing the water crisis, Mays was also known for his often contentious relationship with his colleagues and his frequent outbursts that garnered social media attention. But he was more than just a social media, having these viral moments. Like he was really about it, man. And he hosted public meetings around the water quality. He also provided a platform for residents to voice their concerns. His activism is well respected. That's why they elected him. Like, they ain't elect him just because he was up there, getting them together, man.
No, and I think he speaks to the new reality of politics, where you don't have to be this what they call it social politics, not social politics, but respectability politics.
Okay,
where you got to look this certain way and talk this certain way. Mr. Mays shattered all those.
He did.
He didn't look like he looked like the guy on the corner asking for a quarter.
Yep.
Hey man, I'm gonna go get a brew.
Yeah,
Mr. Mays, and that's no disrespect to him.
One of the meetings, Mr. Mays had a cigarette in his hand.
Listen, Mr. Mays,
and they was like, he can't have. He was like, it ain't lit.
Hey, one of the things he said, what can I call him, a Negro? These Negroes. Hey, and one of the things that I really liked about him,
he was the real deal.
His people backed him.
Yeah.
Right. He once you understand how politics go, and you see a video of a elected official, one like that, and he's still there after 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
His people.
That's right.
Sent him.
That's right.
I was sent here by somebody. Right. And it was my people. And guess what? They are right with what I'm doing up here. They glad I'm raising my voice. They glad that I'm speaking out and speaking up against y'all, because y'all are probably part of the problems of our community.
That's right.
And I want people to not think that he was a clown.
That's
or
right.
a jester. He was being himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to turn down who he was and to walk in that room.
That's right.
And I say this all the time. A lot of times we shrink ourselves to fit in the rooms we walk in.
Right.
And I'm having a problem with that now. I'm tired of shrinking myself to fit in these people's rooms.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, Mr. Mays didn't shrink himself to fit in that room or to sit on that dais. So I definitely salute him. Rest in power, King.
I love that, man. Thank you for that commentary and that witness bearing, man. That's lived experience, and you're absolutely right about that. Former President Donald Trump claimed at a Black Conservative Federation gala in South Carolina that his 4 criminal indictments have increased support among Black Americans. He compared his legal situation to historic discrimination, suggesting that the Black population sees him as a victim of discrimination. Trump, who is facing federal charges related to efforts to overturn the 2020 election, keeping classified documents and alleged payments to a porn actress, asserted that his mugshot was embraced by the Black population. He mixed campaign remarks with appeals to the Black community and made jokes about race during the speech. One of the things that he said was he couldn't see the Black people in the audience because it was so dark in there or something like that. He was like on one. So what are your thoughts on Trump?
My biggest and my first thought is the narrative. I call him the narrative king.
Okay.
The narrative king has struck again.
Okay.
And to be honest, he has a point.
Okay.
Because of respectability politics, people with mug shots aren't taken serious as political contenders.
Okay.
And some Black people can get behind somebody with a mug shot and say, hey, this is my hero, because a lot of my heroes got mug shots. Okay. A lot of my heroes have mug shots and FBI files.
Is Trump one of those?
Or the hero of mine?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that. But I definitely
But that's where he was going.
But I definitely 10,000% respect his movements and see him as I see him as something to watch, something to learn from. If you are not able to learn and watch something and as greatness is happening in front of you, because you may not like him. You may not like his presidency. You may not like him as a person, but you have to recognize the greatness that's happening in front of you. And so what greatness is that? He is galvanizing his people. He is doing the same thing Mr. Mays did. People are allowing him to say what he want to say and saying, I'm still going to back you. You know what? You got a couple charges? Man, don't even worry about that. I got you. And that's something where that's what our people telling me. Man, don't worry about your background. I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Anything you want. You get what I'm saying? And the problem is with the respectability of politics, y'all, the other side got to get some of that.
Okay.
See, you get what I'm saying? Not run from it and then demonize it. You need to get you some.
Okay.
Right? Get you some street credibility. That's what the man got. He got street credibility.
Biden tried it and it didn't work.
Biden ain't the street credible person.
No, because Biden said if you ain't voting for me, you ain't black.
That was his shot.
That was his shot.
That was the same shot Trump took last night.
And Trump said, "Look, I'm a thug. Y'all thugs.
Get with
Let's look out together."
No, but what we can do, what we cannot do.
I'm more like you than the other guy because I got a mug shot.
That's right.
I got charges pending. Like y'all can relate to this, black people. Y'all criminals. That's what I took. Like that's what I took, and that's what I took.
If I had a meeting with Donald J. Trump right now today, you know what I asked him for? I asked him for reparations. I say, hey, Trump.
Think he'll do it?
I say, Trump, won't nobody, a Republican freed the slaves?
Okay.
I think it'll become a competition to who could give it to us first. And I think we should embark on that competition because we in politics and ain't getting nothing we want. People just smiling for us, taking pictures and selfies with us, but ain't nobody writing no legislation for us.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, okay, let's bring that pen out. Let's see what that reparations look like.
So here's one of the questions. It says empathy or exploitation. Do you think that Trump's attempt to empathize with the black community based on his legal issues is genuine empathy or a political strategy to gain support? Political
strategy.
Yeah.
But I think all these electeds are operating on political strategy.
Okay.
So I don't think he is alone. If Biden could get elected off of locking us up decades ago,
and he did,
he would continue it.
Yeah.
If that would get him the presidency today, if he could lean back on the mass incarceration years, the writing of the criminal bill for Bill Clinton, if he could lean on that right now, he would.
Yeah.
He would. What are y'all talking about?
So you're not offended by it?
Not offended. Offended ain't the word. I wouldn't be offended.
Because I was listening to a clip.
You felt offended? Offended.
I want to say it was just another one of them. Oh my God!
They like, said it's so dark you can't see nobody.
Like, is this really happening? Like, it wasn't even because at this point with Trump, like you never know, right? And so it's kind of hard for him to offend me because like you count him for what, like one of your things, you count him for what he did the last time. Like we know this dude is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he just so overt and so blatant and so bold that it's like, dang, Trump, like how far are you really willing to go? And it just blew my mind. Like because I was kind of like in and out of sleep, the TV was on and I heard him say something about like, I can't see I can see the black people in here. And I'm like, am I dreaming? Is this real? Like, is this dude really talking like this? And what make him feel comfortable to just be like saying this stuff? And like, I'm like, wow.
And running for
now
office.
That I say it and I think about it, yeah, it was kind of offensive, bro. Because he was just like so just outright comfortable in his disrespect that he didn't even see it as disrespect.
And I think that's,
like he just like
that's
like that it's a 70-something-year-old white man in a room of black people, and he making jokes thinking like, yeah, this is like ha, chuck it up. I can't even see y'all Negroes because y'all it's so dark in here. Like that, and then my mugshot did real good with black people, like black people supporting that, like all black people are criminals. Like that's a part of that narrative. Like you said, the narrative and the spin doctors on that, like you saying, like that, like they're endearing me to, like y'all should vote for me because I'm a criminal like y'all.
Listen,
if that ain't something,
listen,
what is that, man?
What is anti? It's the anti-politics. So he's the anti-hero. He's the anti-candidate. So everything he's doing is anti, and everything that disgusts people makes other people love him. And that's the polarization.
Because that's how they really feeling.
It's the polarization.
Yeah.
Right? Because some Negroes feel that way. You get what I mean? So that polarization, I think is, and you helped me put this together about the agitation.
Yeah.
And you need the agitation to separate the dirt from the clothes.
Yeah.
And then the agitation is what make the clothes come clean.
Right.
And so that's what he's doing, this agitation. And he pushing buttons. and now I'm gonna push a button to make you can't even think.
Yeah,
because I might be able to write or do something that's so remarkable for you and your people, you can't even think because of what I said, Saturday.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. You, I don't agitate. You can't even think with a good thought.
Yeah, that was one of them blows. Like I said, my jaw dropped, and I was like,
I can't believe it.
I was like, oh my God, it's like, oh my God,
and it's so fascinating, right? So
and this is who they want. Like
you could really,
and he's leading it. Like
if you could
this is
really
who they want.
take a step back. And just look over all this and look how like this is truly fascinating. This is almost like a social studies experiment happening in our real life.
Yeah.
You have an elderly person who's been called the racist, rich, billionaire, boom, going against a guy that's been called racist, rich, right?
Yeah.
And senile.
Yeah.
Right? Dementia. You know what I'm saying? And not doing public meetings and whatever. And now, boom, now you got these people going head to head for the biggest and baddest seat. I was looking at Forbes magazine, biggest and baddest seat in the world.
America's in trouble,
dog.
boy.
And guess what? We're letting it happen.
Yeah.
We're sitting back and blaming the media, blaming the news, blaming everybody. Instead of look at these two men who are two older guys, older white guys, some of the oldest white guys that ever try to lead the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they like breaking records for being the oldest ones to do it. Like that is a thing.
And look,
I'm putting this election information at the bottom of the screen too, y'all, just so that y'all can have it.
Yeah. But in my thought, I was watching Forbes magazine, and the president of Argentina was saying he had a big secret. And if the secret got out, it would change the world. And you know what the secret was?
What was it?
America has no money. The leaders are printing money and backing it by fake printed money.
Right.
And he said, we are on a crash course for calamity because the money's not back. And then look at our leaders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now look at what's going on. It's literally a clown show.
Yeah. At this point.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a race to the bottom. It's a race
rocket ship to hell. And the chat is going live. I mean, there's like a lot of good stuff happening in here. You know, UB did what he do. He said, where would the reparations come from? How would we disperse it? Who all would be entitled to reparations? I got some ideas locally from some other places that has been done. I'll share it another time, UB. But Monique, shout out to Mo, the Mo Show Live. We also broadcasting there. UB has great questions,
but that money,
that's a long one,
continually sent to other countries. Listen, that money is continually sent to other countries would be great start. The government should disperse to all African Americans the same way they disperse taxes. African Americans could be entitled to reparations, seeing that their ancestors created generational wealth for their families by building America. It's either you want to do it or you don't. Mo,
they figure out a way to pay for everyone else,
but now they ain't got let's not
get clueless.
Hey, Mo, I don't know.
They figure out a way to pay everybody else.
We'll never figure out a way to do it. Hey, listen, Mo. Mo, we need to have a show specifically on this, and Mo, you need to come in.
We do. Kiss said, I think we as a people have such a hard time with politics because for some reason we still think racism isn't alive and well and never going away. No matter how bright the smile, no matter how many deeds are done that benefit us in the process. Because a lot of that help is unintentional.
Wow.
Yeah, they make a mistake and help us.
Jamisha Savage said you should be offended as he has no political platform that advanced for the black people. He was pandering to but use superficial stereotypes to present by black people as monolithic.
Criminals and athletes.
Oh.
Yep.
Them shoes. Did y'all see the shoes?
Oh my God.
And he took a page out of Kanye West's book about these shoes.
Okay.
Kanye West is like the biggest ever, and they just tried to shut him down. They know they've been trying. He had #1
and
album.
He killed them with the Super Bowl thing.
But now look what they did.
#1 album and Super Bowl.
And that's why I made a post. I made a post that say they look at your views to measure your
saw
reach,
that. Yep.
And then they look, but what they don't do, they can't measure your impact.
Yes, sir.
They haven't found a way.
Brilliant.
Listen, this Kanye West fellow, it might be Kanye West 2024 for real.
Is it too late?
No, it ain't too late. He already influencing he just got Trump a couple million trillion.
Oh my God. Wow. But yeah, so there's a lot happening in the world, y'all. Trump selling shoes. He telling black people, let's link up because we all thugs.
Man, somebody need to tell Biden to go ahead and write a reparations bill.
I saw an article. I didn't click on it, but I saw they're starting to press him on that now.
Listen.
He is being pressed
on the Black Power players. You know, and I know a couple of y'all are watching.
Yeah.
And I know y'all got some phone calls y'all can make. Seriously start having this conversation about reparations to the black community. At that time, we're going to start taking your candidacy serious. We're going to start taking it serious. And what is going to make it real is starting to draft up that legislation.
Right.
Starting to draft it up. Let us see how it look. Let us see how it smell.
Yeah. Right?
Because Jamisha Smith Savage said the right thing. Where's your platform for us? Don't come and talk sweet. Nothing's in my ear and don't have no legislation or nothing written down to benefit me and my community.
Right.
That's happened so much.
Yeah.
Right? So listen, talk to your people. Let them know we have and we will accept all reparation checks through direct pay, PayPal, Vimeo, Cash App. Hey, figure out a way to get it to us, man.
Right. What are we getting in return for our support? That's exactly right, UB. That's exactly right. All right, so the Florida Republican-led House passed legislation creating the strictest social media prohibitions in the United States.
Ooh.
The bill prohibits anyone under 16 from many social media platforms and mandates age verification through a third party. Notably, it does not allow parents to opt in for their children. Despite concerns from Governor Ron DeSantis, who emphasized the need for parental involvement, the bill passed both the House and the Senate. The legislation also addresses minors' access to online adult content by requiring age verification on websites publishing harmful content to minors.
Hey, the House, the Florida government will pass a failing test, man. They will pass anything moving.
Yeah.
So the reality is, this is the same legislative body that says parental powers or parental. They're in one ear, they're saying the parent has the ultimate power. You should be able to pick what book that they read. They should not have to learn about history. But then on the next arm, they'll say, hey, we're going to just take all your parental rights away and your kids just can't get on this until they're 16. Right. And so me personally, I agree. I think that the dopamine that comes from social media and the algorithm, the child should not be experiencing till 16 or 18.
Okay.
And I think...
And you think that the law should get in there? So here's the question.
I mean, I agree with it. I don't think it should be a law where you have the right to tell me that.
So here's the question. Parental rights versus child safety. How do you balance parental rights to decide what's best
for the child,
for the children, with the government's role in protecting minors from potential harms of social media platforms? Where's the balance in parental rights versus regulating social media platforms?
On that first hand, the children should be number one.
Okay.
Right. But with this law, a lot of other laws going to have to change. Right. It should be.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Because you shouldn't be.
If that's your
stance
philosophy
right there,
and your this is how you make decisions.
Now we got to execute so many other different law changes, so many different rule changes throughout. You can't still have what's going on in Pinellas County schools going on if this is how you feel about the children.
Parental rights.
Yeah, if the children number one, it's some stuff that's going on that's not the best thing for the children. Under your law, so you're gonna have to change a lot of stuff. And I think the honest to God truth, a lot of the social media companies have been donating to wealthy national politicians.
Okay.
And they haven't been sharing that love amongst the states. So if you look, other states are doing this too, Montana, other states.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's really like an undercurrent.
Okay.
So the main wave is, the social media companies donating to Biden or whoever they're donating to. That's the wave. But the undercurrent is the states ain't getting none of that money and they're asking for attention. These laws is saying, hey, y'all need to come give us some money down here.
Okay.
Y'all need to spread that love. If y'all don't, ain't nobody under 16 can get on y'all sites, and that's gonna be half y'all business because it's all kids.
So here's another one of the questions. How might this legislation impact social media companies' operation and business models? And then what responsibilities do these companies have in addressing issues like addiction and harmful content targeted at minors? What's their responsibility as companies to address these things?
I think the same responsibility as cigarette companies and beer companies, because this is a new addiction, which may still have some of the same health implications, but the reality is, or may not have the same health implications, may or may not, right?
Right.
But the reality is, these tech companies have been moving fast and free.
Okay.
They have been unregulated. It's like the wild, wild west for social media, right?
Okay.
And now we're coming into the regulations phase, right?
Where they getting out of the west.
Getting out of the wild, wild west, come and claim your land, mark your land, and it's yours. We're past that stage.
Right.
Now we're at the stage where you're gonna have to have specific licensing. You're gonna have specific things that either the social media companies are gonna be all right with, because hey, new guy, you're not gonna be able to just pop up and do it.
Okay.
You ain't see.
So a new platform.
So we're gonna be all right with regulation. We done got so big.
Yeah.
We're gonna come down. We're gonna work with the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna fly in. We're gonna bring a delegation in. We're gonna send some money to y'all.
Right.
And we're gonna work with y'all. We're gonna work together on this. And then they're gonna lock the door for other future entrepreneurs through regulations. You get what I mean? That's Wild Wild West. That's what happened.
I hear that, man. So pay attention, because it still is moving. Now I guess the question is whether or not the governor's going to sign it, because it's made its way through the House and the Senate. But then he still has some concerns. He's interested in making sure that parents are engaged. The way that the legislation is written, it basically bypasses parental rights and saying it's all up to the companies to regulate it. Yeah.
And he's going to send it back and tell them to make those changes and sign it.
Okay. Sound like a plan. Just to let you know, y'all, you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, the new 99 Jams morning show. And as a community-owned public media resource, WUJM relies on the support of listeners like you to keep the shows that you love on the air. The doors open, lights on, and to continue to put out quality programming in the Tampa Bay area. Please consider making a donation or becoming a show sponsor today. You can do that by visiting 99jamstheberg.com, clicking on the donate button. One of the things I wanted to just provide an update for, you probably saw it if you're on d7speaks.com. But if you've driven down by Thurgood Marshall Middle School on 22nd Avenue, you might have noticed the construction that's in front of that. And so just so that you know what's happening, we're addressing some of the existing gaps as it relates to sidewalks, increasing pedestrian safety. We're also creating curb ramp upgrades to ensure accessibility for all community members. Creating wider roads for the space improved so we can have better traffic flow. Also, there's going to be a new center median with flashing beacons to help with the trail crossing, and then adding an eastbound turn lane for smoother traffic management around the school. So that construction, I'm sure, like I said, if you've been over there by Twin Brooks and Thurgood Marshall, you see that the construction is in full swing, and it might be causing a bit of inconvenience. The anticipated time is about another 12 months of work to complete all of the components of the project. And so just be patient, pardon the dust. But at the end of this project, the roads will be a lot smoother. And this was actually one of the budget recommendations that I made last year, was to connect those sidewalks and to complete that work. And so it's actually underway. It's happening right now.
Great job. As budget recommendations go up, got a couple of streets that's still dirt roads in Charles Park.
There we go. So yeah, that was a big one. And there's other ones in that as well. Oh man, what you got cooking this week? Anything that we need to let the people know about?
Man, we always got something going on. Thank y'all for supporting the Black Art and Film Festival. Big shouts out to Cranston Cumberbatch, Miss Debbie Yachty, Richard Gill, Cat, everybody, Naps, everybody, Ashley Briscoe, everybody. Big shouts out to the Urban League Young Professionals.
Yes.
Chiquita Clark on great leadership. Tamika Mitchum, thank you so much.
Mitchum Services.
Everybody who came out and showed support. Big shouts out to Raheem Fitzgerald. He won the Nick Davis Award this year. Big shouts out, man, everybody I seen, everybody that came through. It was an amazing weekend. We saw hundreds of people come through, and it was nothing but love. Big shouts out to you for supporting, even if you haven't supported. I think you're gonna support in the future. So I'll see you when I see you.
Right on, man. And just a reminder, even if you haven't supported, thank you for your support.
Right. We're gonna get you later. We're gonna get you later.
I love that. Even if you didn't support, we thank you for your support.
That's right.
I appreciate that. So Melrose Mercy Neighborhood Association meeting is tonight at 6 p.m. at the Campbell Park Resource Center. That's behind John Hopkins Middle School. And so it takes a little bit of doing to get there, but you go down 9th Avenue, and then it'll be some signs that'll tell you the resource center is up there.
Yeah, in the back, in the cut back there.
It's in the cut back there. But yeah, we looking forward to that. And hopefully y'all can come out, man. And to your point earlier, Mr. Edmond, we're going to post it on the website. We'll put the map so that you can find what neighborhood association you're in, because it's true. A lot of people don't even know what, neighborhood, what the boundaries of their neighborhood is.
I ain't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until you told me.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm president of Child's Park neighborhood. What?
Where
Child's Park? What?
Where that go from?
Yeah, it's from 5th Avenue. Well, it was from 1st Avenue. And then,
it's like some history, like a whole history lesson.
Greater Child's Park. We still claim the Greater Child's Park area. So whether you know it or not, Central Oak Park and Twin Brooks and y'all, whether y'all know it or not, y'all still family.
Right on.
Family.
Right on.
We still love y'all.
All right, final thoughts, man.
Final thoughts. Yeah, tomorrow at Lakewood High School is gonna be some awards going out. Y'all make sure y'all come and support Marcus Brooks, Antonio Brown, Kanika Tomlin, and a bunch of others.
Okay.
Definitely come out Lakewood High School, and we'll put the event on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club page. Go like the page, and thank y'all so much for tuning in, and see y'all Wednesday.
Yeah, and likewise, man. Again, it's a lot happening, a lot going on, a lot of stuff that needs to be done and needs to be said. So up next is a local legend, man. Y'all know Sister Hughes. I grew up on Sister Hughes.
Me too.
And so please, y'all tune in 99.1 FM. Sister Hughes, make you lose your shoes, and shout out around the house, man. And she's up next on WUJM 99.1. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
And I am the one and only Mr. Edmond.
And we out.